Hey, Muffin here. Welcome back. A subscriber request for Lunar versus Wasteland tanks. Now, I've typically categorized these as monster tanks when having them fight either different types of tanks, but now we're actually going to put them against each other and see how they do and which one wins. So if you're not quite sure what Lunar or Wasteland tanks are, Lunar tanks have typically been known to be as the Dracula, the Helsing, the Lycan, the Nightmare. So tanks of that nature have been labeled as Lunar tanks. And the Wasteland tanks are like the Gravedigger, the Tankenstein, the Annihilator, things of that sort, that almost kind of more look like junkyard tanks, I guess, in a way. And then you have the Lunar that are kind of based on like Dracula and the werewolf and things of that nature. So I've always put these two together, categorized them as monster tanks. So when they fight either like German tech tree tanks or something, that is what I've been referring to. Going in here, we're going to find out which one of these monster groups are better than the other. Both of them have some very impressive qualities about each one of them. Now, before you cast your votes, some of the things that are actually quite impressive about the Lunar tanks, from what I remember, and if I actually understand correctly, are tanks like the Lycan that have the ability, like, I think the driver or the crew can't get knocked out. The Dracula also has, I think, the best engine power to weight ratio out of any tank in the game. It's like 40 plus. It's like just insane. Now, on the Wasteland side, you do have tanks like the Annihilator or the Smasher. So things that the Lunar tanks are definitely going to have to be a bit careful of. So here we do have 3 versus 3. We do end up getting more joining the room. And what a first game. Quite awesome. So looks like we had the Lunar tank. So want to also thank Garion so much, helping me a ton. Just had just a lot of crazy things. Just life's been just a bit busy. So thank you, Garion, so much for hosting this and doing the editing for it. Greatly appreciated. And all the subs for joining these awesome rooms and scenarios we do. If you want to become a part of it, more than welcome. Everyone can join the room. I do send out the announcements through Discord, and to get those, you can get the movie crew roll. So here we're going to see if the Wasteland tanks can make a comeback. Getting to an excellent position here with the Dracula and getting some crossfire on that Annihilator. Very effective position. Now that is one disadvantage of the Wasteland tanks is I don't believe they have any high tier light medium tanks like the Dracula at tier 7. They have the Spike, which is a Wasteland medium tank at tier 5, but the Lunar with the Dracula is going to have, I think, a little bit of that advantage, even though I believe the Dracula's view range isn't great. It still has that maneuverability to get to those quick spotting positions and help get eyes for their team. Ooh, definitely don't want to be in front of that Smasher. Ooh. Now we got 4v4. Just absolutely amazing. Taking out one of the Smashers, one Wasteland tank down. A lot of skill involved in this and got to be very, very careful. You'll have to let me know in the comments below which tank you think is better, the Annihilator or the Smasher. I actually did do a showdown between the two. And now that I think about it, I can't quite remember which side actually won. Honestly, both really good tanks. Now the monster tanks, every time we've put them against a nation's tech tree, like monster tanks versus German engineering or monster tanks versus Russian bias, having it be equally balanced in tiers, the monster tanks, if any of you guys have seen those videos, have just about easily won every single challenge. And we all know it probably helps because as part of that monster tank group, having the Smasher and Annihilator being very OP tanks. Wow, Lunar tank's doing actually very, very impressive. I'll be honest with you, I actually thought the Wasteland tanks with having the Smasher and Annihilator would have actually taken the cake here, but honestly doing just excellent. We're actually stepping it up. We now have 5 versus 5. We're going to see if the Wasteland tanks are going to make a comeback. So great spotting position here. This Dracula is using, especially also taking that cover behind the bush to help his concealment. Ooh, quite a shot there right into that other Dracula. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the Tankenstein is doing. He is moving. However, armor not quite angled. You know, it's kind of interesting. I've seen that. You'll have to let me know what you guys also think. I've come across some games where it seems like some players do not move until they get shot. I don't know if it's like a glitch they're experiencing or if it's like a thing they think is maybe a strategy. Blitz does not work like War Thunder, that if you're completely still, enemies may think of you as a dead tank. I'm not 100% sure what the strategy or the reason is that some players don't necessarily move until they get shot, but you guys will have to let me know. Wow, and what a fight. Absolutely incredible. What an annihilation. The Lunar tanks looking like they have taken all 3 rounds. So just amazing. Honestly caught me by surprise. Let me know which side you prefer in the comments below. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.